Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to Fix Collab Behind the Scene. It is a live stream where we record daily, and we try to bring you news related to tech, things about development, things about tech, to kind of just keep you guys in the loop of what is happening and where the world is trending to. All right, my name is Fitri Joroji, and I'm your host. A little bit about me: I run a company called Fix Collab, so hence the name Fix Collab, and we are a software development agency based here in Kuala Lumpur. We specializes in mobile and web app development. We also do a little bit of websites. And today's show, we are going to talk about something that is very, very controversial. Something that is, to be honest, something that I think about every day being in this space. Are websites dead? Right? So today we are going to talk about we'll start with the history of websites, and then we'll kind of go through what are the phases of websites and why you should care, right? Because I'm going to show you something that the big guys, the big companies, are actually pivoting their website into something more than just what you're currently seeing these days. And that is what I'm going to show you guys today. And stay tuned, guys. All right, so today it's just gonna be me. So if you're first time listening to Fix Collab BTS, welcome. I am Fitri. Typically, I'm accompanied by my colleague Leroy, but Leroy is in a flight right now, headed back to Sarawak. So it's just gonna be me. So the past few episodes, we have covered different topics. We covered about AR, we covered about VR, we talk about crypto, we talk about blockchain, we talk about NFT, we talk about metaverse, and sometimes we talk about some serious stuff. Like yesterday, we talked about no code development. So if you are in the space of tech, this show or this live stream can be something that could be beneficial for you if you listen to it. So we try to bring you news, insights, sharings every single day at 4 p.m. If you miss the 4 p.m., we are going to do it at later at night, which is 10. But yeah, guys. So what we're going to talk about today is about website. If you read the topic, the headline reads, "Our website's dead. The future of websites." So for you guys who doesn't know what website is, website basically is a place where you get to know to know about businesses, to get to know about a place where people host something for people to consume, right? And obviously the whole, when I talk about the term website, it's very general, right? We have different types of website. We have social media websites, we have Wikipedia websites, we have listing websites, we have corporate websites, and also we have the e-commerce website, we have the gaming website, all sort of websites. But basically what it is actually a place where people host something and for the user to interact, to consume those content, right? So websites has changed how humanity works, guys. The introduction of the internet in 1990s led birth to this thing where you can put in a link and then you'll be able to access something, right? In fact, I'll show you guys how the first ever website actually looks. Is that something that you guys are excited for? Let me see if I can pull out that screen. Let me see. Okay, so the first ever website, guys. So just a little bit the history about website. Was the first internet, right? Was actually website was made able by the introduction of internet, and it was in 1990s where this guy managed to figure out, hey, if we were able to put something on this thing called the internet, people will be able to access it as long as they have connection to this file. Will be able to show things to a complete stranger without them having to be in front of us. Hence, the whole concept of website came about. And then the first ever website was just as simple as this, guys. Let me show you guys. First ever website. It was just a blank white page explaining what the World Wide Web is. What is www? So if you can see, it was just as simple as this. And obviously, as time goes by, people start realizing that, hey, there are actually different ways that we can actually build on this particular page. People start producing, people start putting media, people start putting videos, and that led birth to things like, when you guys are born in 1990s. Before that, we all started off. We didn't start with Facebook, guys. We started with this thing. I'm not sure whether it's actually still there. Let's see. Friendster. Oh, it's no longer there. But Friendster was, quote unquote, one of the early social networking website that actually was at that point super revolutionary, because it allowed me to have a profile where I can design my profile, kind of show this character of this cool dude, blah blah blah, with some music, and that was the achievement that these guys who built the website, who built this www thing, have been able to do. And as time goes by, when email was introduced, companies start realizing that, hey, with this email thing, we can now communicate to a person from the other country and propose to them a business idea and have them agree, or negotiate on this proposition. And hence, that actually strengthened the need at that point for them to have a website. So I read somewhere that, I forgot where I read it from. The advancement of email started this revolution where companies realized that, hey, now I gotta have this website thing. Companies start to see that if we want to reach out to someone, if we want to make money on this internet thing, we gotta have websites about our company. So that was when we start seeing they call it the dotcom bubble, where companies that have a website, their stocks, their shares was just shooting off the roof, guys. And then obviously the market crashed. All these companies like pets.com and a lot of these companies, simply because they have a domain, simply because they have a website, at that point people thought that, hey, this was the future. And that was what, 30, 40 years ago, 30, 20 years ago. And fast forward now, we are at an era where a website is something that is a default. It's like a license for you to be able to sell online. Like if you run a business, if you don't have a website, something is wrong with you, right? But that was true only until this whole social media craze starts popping up, right? At that point, back then, Friendster was just about, hey, adding a request. MySpace was just about, seeing the update of the other person. There wasn't anything as such thing as social online selling. There wasn't anything at Amazon. There wasn't the concept of, here I am trying to sell online without having to be there. I just post a video of me or a piece of text or a piece of article and hope that people would wire me their money. Wasn't even there. But when the whole social networking space blows up, people start realizing that, hey, maybe we don't need a website. Maybe all we need is just a social profile about our business, where we can interact with the customer, we can be whoever we want, portray this personality that we want to portray, and we'll be able to still convince people to do business with us. And that was when we start. I mean, being a guy in that space, I personally, just a little bit of background about myself, is I was in this web design development space for the past 5 years. So I started to see this trend, like, hey, people would rather invest in building their social media presence than putting the money to build a website, because when I go on social, there is higher chances of me getting in front of the right people. It's easier for me to constantly be in touch with my audience, and from there I have higher chances to get them to buy my product or services, right? And they started slowly, ditching the importance of the website, right? And this is something that I was made aware of because as a guy who runs a business in the web design development agency, that's how we started, and now we have expanded our service into the software development side of things. I realized that, okay, this whole notion of companies wanting a website to talk about their company is, I wouldn't say it's dying, but it doesn't really bring much value to the business. If you ask a lot of business owners, their mindset is just like, yeah, I just need to have a website because if someone Googles about me, they actually know about me, right? But we are starting to see a generation of businesses that are faceless. When I say faceless, you don't even know who are the guy behind all this. But because of the technology that they put forward to the public, accessible via the website, the business exploded. For example, do you guys know who the founder of Netflix is? You guys don't, right? Do you guys know who the founder of Airbnb is? You guys don't. Do you guys really know who the founder of Uber is? Probably, but most of people don't. But they have managed to build a business primarily focusing on in making people interact via their website that gives them so much value that the whole business actually runs on the website, right? So this was when we started to see a lot of these software based businesses that came about wanting to disrupt the economy, disrupt how things are done. And I think that 5-10 years down the road, we're going to see more of these guys coming up, because imagine the beauty of it is you don't have to really interact with the customer. You build a platform that does all the interaction with the customer and gives them enough value so that they're willing to part ways with their hard-earned money. So that was what I started to see. I started to see that, hey, a lot of businesses, at one point, they all thought that, hey, I just need a website and it's easier for me to reach out to somebody across the country, across the region, and pitch them a business idea. And because I have a website, they 9 times out of 10 would be agreeable to what I have to propose. But now, since everyone, right? Like, name me one company that you know of that doesn't have a website. 9 times out of 10, you don't know of any, because they're not there on the internet in the first place. But all websites, all companies that you think of, you have this feeling that by default they should have a website, right? So this was what I started noticing. A lot of startups, tech-based startup, whose livelihood of the company, whose the whole company is actually embedded in a piece of software, and they had a bunch of people running it, and the software allows them to scale. The software allows them to make the big bucks. And then I started to see this kind of trend. Like, after this whole blockchain thing, after this whole Web 3.0, we start realizing that, hey, me and my team start realizing that there's actually a new trend that I see in how people build their websites. Remember, before this, a lot of companies are just using their website to host information, meaning that you go on our website, this is what we do, this is our password, this is about us, take it or leave it. But now, corporate websites are becoming a place for interaction. Now, let me just give you guys an example, right? So, because of the pandemic, right? We all are aware of all these VR, AR, IoT, Internet of Things, IR 4.0 things, but it wasn't really implemented until we had this COVID virus thing, right? Events across the world, global events were forced to stop. They were forced to halt, and even management companies are left scrambled. Okay, now that we can't operate, we can't have so much people at one point. Now, how do we pivot? And it's like people are left with no option but to finally go digital, finally adopt all these, new technologies, right? So what I started to see, there's a lot of event management companies who started offering virtual experiences, right? So for example, right now we currently have this Expo 2020 Dubai, by far probably the biggest expo about. It's where all countries get together to Dubai and then they simply showcase the uniqueness of each country. Imagine when you go to an expo, each booth is about each country. Obviously, they currently have the physical event happening, but they have also offered people to join the event virtually. Now, if you look at this, if I click Virtual Expo, it will bring me to another website. Let me just show you guys. If you can see that the website is actually being loaded, and you can actually see an interface almost like a game here, right? Where it tells you what's happening right now. And this is where it gets very interesting. So when I see this, I know that the future of website is in the interactivity of it. Before this, people are just consuming info. But now they need to start interacting with your product or your service or your event. So in this context, it's currently nighttime there in Dubai. And by default, it shows me this map, which is very, very cool. And when I first saw this, I was like, wow, they have done an amazing job. And as I zoom in, right, I actually have these hotspots that as I click will bring me deeper info about what's currently happening. So you can see that they've actually laid out all these booths, which resembles a country. So by right, when you go to Dubai right now, this is what you see. This is what you will experience. Did you see that? They want to try to give you, I mean, obviously you don't have all the visceral experience, like the noise of the place. You see people walking, but by giving you this 3D render of what is happening, they can give you an almost similar experience if you were to be there in Dubai right now. And how cool is that, guys? If I click, let's say if I click Indonesia booth here, you see it actually shows, okay, this is actually the building, and let's discover the Indonesian pavilion. And there, they take it to another next level, right? Imagine just now we have this augmented reality of the place. Now, they take it to another step where they want to provide another immersive experience, and they give you guys a 360 tour, right? So let's explore this place with this 360 thing. Let me just load this. Let's see if it's loading. So this just goes to show, guys, that this is the future, right? It's no longer about, yes, I need a website, but the question that all of you guys should start be asking if you run a company or if you are part of a company is, how do we now provide an immersive experience about our product or our service to our users so that now they can make a better informed decision? Because let's say if I want to buy your product, but I can't really see your product, all I have is an info of a brochure of your product, but I can't really see in real time, it might prevent me from pulling the trigger. It might prevent me from buying right now. So let's jump back to this 360 tour. Click start tour. Remember, it's actually now you can actually right now see this is actually the place in that building. So I'll go forward. There you go. So you can see now that, hey, I can watch this video. You see, the cool part is if you're there, you will probably see the same thing, same exact thing. I'll go click here, and I'll go even further. And this goes to show, guys, how this 360 experience gives you an almost similar experience if you are in Dubai right now. And with this, they just open up. Just imagine if you were the host of this event. You can now charge people that can experience your expo without them having to be there. It opens up a whole new revenue stream for you guys. So this is just one example, right? And I want to show you another example. When I say just now, you want to be providing an immersive experience, right? What if you're selling product? If you notice, all the big guys, right? Apple. So it was brought to my attention by a colleague of mine, Leroy, and he said that, hey, you know that you can actually view the real life, not real life, the actual rendering of the product, of how big it is from the website. So I said, what do you mean by that? Go to the website and then scroll all the way down. Let's see. This is Mac. Okay, let's click this. These are the new Macintosh laptop. Can you just take a moment to admire how well they've designed this website and make you feel that, hey, I need one, right? How many of you guys agree that Apple have done such a well done job at putting this website together? It makes you feel that, hey, I need one of these, even though you don't need all this power. But because of the design of how they put all these visuals together, the interactivity of things makes you want to feel like, okay, I need one of this. So the point I want to make here is, if you scroll all the way down, you will actually see a section that allows you to actually see the product. See, like this. Use AR to see your MacBook in your workspace. So why would they actually go to the extent of showing this? So the idea here is they want to give you that experience of, oh, if I put this laptop on my table right now, just imagine I have a table in front of me and I use this AR function to see how big the laptop is. It actually answers a lot of my questions. I can actually, I don't have to be in the Apple store to see the product. Now, let me just repeat that. I don't have to be in the Apple store to see the product. Now I can see it using my own phone. So this is what you start be thinking. If you have an experience, if you have a website, the next big thing that you could start looking into, how do we provide this augmented reality experience? How do we provide this virtual reality experience to our customer so that they can now make better informed decisions, so that they now are less doubtful? Before this, right? Before this whole AR and VR thing, a lot of times people feel that they need to go to the showroom, to the store to actually see the product in real life, so that they can make, they can experience the product and actually see how it behaves, how it looks, blah, 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 how big is it. But when we have this, we are now one step closer to to an era where we don't have to be there. We can just experience how the product is from the comfort of our own room. Now, another brilliant example, DJI, right? For those of you guys who are not aware of, who are not familiar with what DJI is, it's a drone, it's an imaging company. They create all these amazing drones, they create all these amazing cameras, they create all these amazing aerial photography products. So, see, you guys also see that a lot of websites are actually becoming very, very Apple-ish. Like there's something that they try to follow here, where I don't try to tell 50 different things at one time, but let's just highlight one particular thing in one time and get people to scroll all the way. Contrary to what people think. A lot of people think, if you look at my cursor here, right? Look how long is the page, guys. And a lot of people say that a long page website is not good. But here we have Apple, DJI, and probably other big brands extending the page as long as they can, so that they can really give that immersive experience, so that they can really highlight one thing at a time and really make people feel that wow, there's a lot of things about this thing. So that's also one trick, the one benefit of extending. So imagine, rather than if you go to a restaurant, right, the menu is just one page, but it has 50 different menus, you probably will not be in awe. But imagine if the menu is 50 pages, where each page you have a picture of the menu and then a brief story of how the chef came out with the menu, and then the ingredients used, and then the customizations available for this menu, and then the price, and then you can order, and what people have said about it. And you have 50 pages of it. You will take your time to go through the menu. You will read, you will be consumed, and eventually you'll be able to make a more informed decision, because now you have more consumable information presented at you. So this is, in terms of design, this is what the big guys are actually doing. I want to bring your attention to this, where they have, let me just see, where was that? Yeah, you see it for yourself. I have a 3D rendering of product and AR rendering of the product. Okay, let's click that. So the cool part is, right, if you open it with your phone, you will be able to zoom in, zoom out, and actually have to its detail how the top part looks like, how the camera looks like if you zoomed in. And why do they bother to show this? Why do I have to be able to show a 3D version of my product? Because if someone wants to buy, these are probably the things that in their head. They'll ask themselves how big the product is. If I were to pull it in my bag, will it fit? So this is where the AR thing comes in. So I've made my point. This is one of the ways where businesses can, if you have a product and you can have a section where people can 3D, get a perspective of how your product looks like, how it feels, how big is it, you are 10 times ahead of your competitor, right? And all this experience are an experience that you can stage. When I say stage, right? Obviously, imagine if you now can put a VR Google, AR Google, and it will display to you how the view from the drone looks like. How do you think the audience will feel? They will feel impressed. They will feel, wow, I need one of this. So by having all this immersive experience, immersive feature on your website, you are enhancing the product experience to your customer. And when you do that, let's say, right, I'm torn between DJI and probably Parrot. Parrot is another brand of drone, but only DJI has this thing where I can actually play around and see how big is it. I will 9 times out of 10 be more convinced to by DJI. So obviously that's not just it. There are a lot of other trends that we're seeing where companies are, providing. But the key point here is this, guys. The future of website, it will not just be interactivity. It's just not going to be informational. The future of website will be interactivity, right? You If you start asking yourself, hey, how can we forgive an experience, a virtual experience to our customer without them having to be on the site, or when I say on site, I mean in real life, without them having to see the product in real life, you guys will be ahead of your competitors. And with that, obviously, the early bird catches the worm. If you are the few guys that actually start marketing this immersive experience, people will flock to you, right? So that's just my thoughts on how the website how website is going to be in the future. And I say in the future, these guys are already doing it. We will probably start to see more and more people jumping on the bandwagon, right? Obviously, implementing it yourself is hard, right? This is where you have to reach out to people who knows how to, who has a plan on how they can do this, who can give to you an image of how it looks like. And then I would say it would be a worth it investment for you to provide this experience. So that is it from me today, guys. I hope whatever I shared today is something beneficial for you guys. If you guys like what you guys are hearing, you can share this content. If you guys want us to cover different topic, we will definitely take that into account. We are going live every single day. We just want to bring you all this knowledge. Just want to bring you what our observation is, and kind of, get everybody aware of what's going on in terms of tech. And I believe that the more, we share, the more we get. So till next time, guys, stay tuned for tomorrow's show. My name is Fitri, and forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.